Greetings and salutations, dear Vikings. Welcome aboard to something special today, to a game called Roadwarden, in text-based RPG, I would say. So it is an isometric experience with mechanics apparently borrowed from RPGs that we know, from visual novels and adventure games. I'm curious how I would call it an old school concept in terms of presenting an RPG. You know, these old text-based RPGs where you just hit text, everything else was just your imagination. Basically, you could say a D&D adventure where the computer spits back your commands and algorithms. I have not played it before. This will be fresh for us together. We're gonna explore this together, and I will try to voice act as good as I can, and give this whole thing some juice, some flavor. And if you are into decision making, into storytelling, world building, and don't mind reading, because this is not grabbing you by the hand, it is not guiding you in terms of there's your quest marker, do this and that. And maybe it is. Maybe you get a quest marker. I don't know. I have not played it yet, but I get the feeling and the vibes that this is very much like what you make up for it, or what you make out of it in your brain, in your mind. So let's have a look at it. I like the menu music already. It's like super vibey. I like this pixel art style that we go in for the presentations part. So with no further ado, let's hop into it. We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Enter. Oh man, Roadwarden. So good. So good. New game. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept the struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible, get rid of beasts and the highwaymen. They live on the roads, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I still have my doubts. I shall leave the safety of the city walls. Please select the difficulty. This choice can be altered later on. Casual. For those focused on the story, no time limit, more cash at the start, some quests are more forgiving. Standard. A 40-day time limit, a regular reset for familiar with RPGs. For returning Roadwardens, increased nighttime damage. Let's go with standard. Let's go with standard. We'll see what the journey goes. Birds are chirping. Beautiful atmosphere. Beautiful atmosphere. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood, good sign. This should be the place you're looking for. We're supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices. No sound of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk, nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. You had a long day. I'll dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's have a peek inside. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher your chance you'll die in combat. You feel well. Vitality. So because I took an action, your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bring your backs and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the gate slowly. So I get a vitality damage because I was stiff sitting on my horsey. Oh, look at that. Like that. That's like in the shadow, and now it's open because I'm peeking inside on the door. So this is more of a game of mind and imagination. I love it. I love it. I haven't played such a thing since ages. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look apart. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at a table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. Could just look for another shelter. I need to look around cautiously. Let's not give ourselves away. People inside the camp didn't even notice the clatter of hoofs. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. I'll say it's okay. Let's enter and then talk to these 2 fellas. Tate takes a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs on its side, but he doesn't reach for it. Take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson. But hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are very, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. I'll let them speak first.
It's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful.
The bearded man's voice is strong, yet timid.
You'll be staying the night with us, I guess.
We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her moment switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you were to take the first watch, it will be a huge help. Travels out to help each other, won't you say? I'll think for a moment. To fully rest, you need a good sleep. Ooh. I mean, we've traveled far. It's 30 minutes before dusk. I mean, I could take the first rest. You know what? I'll do it, just for the sake of building up trust here. Fantastic! She rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile.
It's easy to wake us up. Just yell.
He drinks from his mug. I asked him about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Ooh. Vulnerable. Intimidating. Distance. Playful. Friendly. Yeah, I'm more of a friendly kind of character, so be supportive and cordial. I was hoping to meet your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I, though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. You're a messenger. Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward.
That explains how you got here in one piece, all by yourself.
Better bring your old beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. Long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. Maybe a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me. Ooh, being suspicious. Let's be suspicious, because her Gammonson is loose, so it's either they're like relaxing here or they came in here and just plundered this place. Oh man, maybe a trap. Let's just gesture to stop and pretend to be embarrassed. I should wash my hands first, but you can't call me. How do you want the people to call you? They'll call me Kormaker. Daltana stands with her hand out, but then raises her arms with an awkward smile. Of course, of course. Just keep your horse away from the tents. Steps away, we don't need to smell its dung.
We should also prepare for the night.
The soldier in the shirt also rises his feet.
We have no tent to spare. We'll have to use the blanket or something.
Well, that's fine. You walk through the gate, your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky and heavy, and it's strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. It's my only company here. I want to feel it at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel. It's my only companion. We love animals. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. Aww, we petted the horse! I speak it gently and lead it to the camp. You get up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes a horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine his back just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time, it starts to shave. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. You need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things, and you've lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eater. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bow. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions, essentials for your trade. Okay. So I can be a fighter, spend my savings on decent combat equipment. I can be a mage, I have a talisman. Or I can be a scholar. A talisman, as well as an iron axe and a worn gammonson. I have a fine gammonson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. I'm the typical fighter guy. I'm not a fan of magic, not really. And scholar doesn't sound really something for me as either. So let's go with the typical fighter. Open your inventory to see your possessions. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can fix them in various settlements. Armor 3 out of 4. Inventory. So I have 2 supplies. Pouch of coins, 5 coins. I have a gammonson. I have a travel set. A well-crafted battle axe and a crossbow. Okay. You unpack and inspect your belongings. The water skin isn't pierced. The spear clothes are still there, just in case you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife, nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you to avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. I return to the soldiers. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach rolls at the sight of them eating out of the wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I'll join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. I completely ignore the meal and sit down to speak to Tulia. I join them and take a look at the meal. It's called gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from the part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find your supplies in the inventory. Nourishment, 2 out of 4. You experience no penalties and bonuses. I see. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with Tulia. There we go. It's easier for you to overcome physical struggles. Nice. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away and only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can't tell you less than I would like to, less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead. 1 has run away in tears.
We're also strangers in this land,
answered her companion. Any piece of information? Anything that helps me do my job? The man leans forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought.
What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs this land.
Show what I consider to be irrelevant. Tell the soldier how little guidance you have received, since this area is too far away from the Hovlavan to keep it under control. You were warned that it is untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Let's ask about what happened to the squad. The man shrugs.
Bandits happen, and monsters. A strong band, though.
We got to the peninsula in spring. We saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses her arms, but she carries on. If you had decided otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretending to be soldiers stay there at night, lose everything you have. Oh, what is it? Still a trap? Sounds like a slave hunter. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where? They were letting the Northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath.
Kinda worked. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died.
Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but he didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. At least we cleared the roads. Saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? I thought that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too unexperienced to spend a summer in the place without a good leader. And they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a trend. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act, though. Didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. Well, we have to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot.
What a colorful journey.
Man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. Well, you've made this place safer. Barely. Julia seems tired. And who knows if what is worth the lives and effort. What is your squad's mission? John looks into your eyes. You know, the usual. Making the road safe, keeping people alive. Explain that it may be important for me to know what they are trying to accomplish. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. Now, if you have any other questions... I lost my rope. Could you spare one? You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down in the chair. Take it! I was planning to leave it behind. I take a closer look. A fine rope. A leg rope made with hemp fibers. Well then. Colin nods. For now, you leave the rope on the table. What should I know about the peninsula? I tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I guess it will be 3-4 days. When he confirms, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea routes all allows Hovlavan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools, but maintaining order on a wild coast, such as this one, is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and the boats can't get much closer. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living in by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in that touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on.
No soul from the north ever come to the camp, but when they travel to the roadside end, pelt of the north, their habit of trade, and to play dice.
Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat.
I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and, well...
Don't take it the wrong way, Kormaker, but are you a devout soul? Oh, here's a thing where I choose something. Oh, there we go. I have a strong connection to nature and spirit and follow the path of the ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister or treacherous by the city folk. Oh, you'll probably call me a pagan.
A pagan Roadwarden?
The man scratches his beard without the slightest subtlety. Now, I'm sure we can have conversation where we are civilized people. I'm from the United Church, but I'm not a priest or anything, and definitely not a zealot. An awkward pause. The United Church has spilled the blood of countless pagan tribes, making it clear that who's not with them is against them. Your family shared gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. Sure, I'm not looking for squabbles. The people here are disquieting. I have a few words. She taps the table with the finger. The traditions would help to negotiate with the officials. She starts to draw lines with her index finger as she pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connecting with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find their village at the bog. It's not exactly pagan. I don't think so. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit.
They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in the soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there.
I see. So they're necromancers, apparently. You have heard tales of such, that this once you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without any city influence, its custom and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt in dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors of humankind. Were we able to speak with these necromancers? You can see why we're not eager to go there if we could avoid it. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous with little to no shelter. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest.
If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon.
Tula nods. Pelt of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards, ask them about the roads. How about the east? Because there's off across the camp. Hard to tell. Went there once. There are hills, forests, and rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mounts?
We saw all sorts of beasts.
The man starts to count on his fingers.
Goblins, trends, cats, large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mufflin eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away.
Some could catch up with most mounts. Tula glances at her companion. The pathway should be fine. The trees are too tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles.
Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck.
That's all I need to know. She nods. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. Anything I should know about this camp? Story is brief. Some merchants built a camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as shelter for travelers. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situations may reserve. Time will tell. You can sleep here wherever you want. Though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Okay. If you were me, where would you go next? That's a good question. The soldier answers quickly.
To the inn, of course.
He grabs his empty mug.
The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge.
The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how I make a good first impression on him? Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trades. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can't be relied on. I see. Tulia, how did you become lieutenant? That's not much of the story, honestly. Looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over her table. In the city, there is a strict order of, what should I call it? Leadership succession, I guess. Halavan chief selected commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put the soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So you were his successor. Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect her off them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shields. Really unpleasant. Something like that to save a man in the middle of an attack doesn't sound like a wise decision. I agree, but so what? He's dead. I doubt he's going to learn much from scolding. And you were the third one in line? Basically, yeah. She says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. Oh, I see, I see. Any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? Tula takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? Have you heard from him from almost a half a year? The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. He confirmed that he had stopped by their camp, but stopped showing up all early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife without looking at you.
I don't remember his voice. Always busy. Drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud meal, clean clothes, write notes on a wax table.
Yeah, and leave it dawn, unlike us. Historian never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretively, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe just doesn't like us. It's like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone in the keeping him in the basement. We haven't seen him. Or his Saurian. Something ate him, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Witcher Roadwarden often use a four-legged, meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching. But unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from any monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and it won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe I left you a message. Neither one of us had any insight on his dealings. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterian stuff. Wade. She raises her open palm. Almost forgot. She stands up and heads to the nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Havlavan. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions, quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of the sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commander for further orders. Since she hasn't returned, and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. We're meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Holvaland together. You think about your real mission. You're planning to return to Hovlaman in the early fall anyways. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but he's considering dead. I doubt he'll spare you anything, and who knows? You may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears a mail, uses a spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long, red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So, find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, left. Just let me know. Okay, okay. Use your journal to see the list of quests. Find the Roadwarden. Okay. So, it's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I agree, Julia sighs with relief, and made you do better than Asturian did. Stay vigilant, she winks at you, shatters the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. So, let's have a drink myself from all this reading. You go to the well and splash water in your face, what makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. Soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you.
Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably better watch out for apes. They climb up and carry out food they can find. And there's this one really loud rear elk that keeps smelling the wall, though it has never tried to get in.
Points at the gates, the lieutenant
and I will block the entrance. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if there's someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them a rope instead.
Scratches his head.
If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire. And the best place is on the watchtower. You want to put up a blanket there or something.
That thing up there? The watch block gives you a long puzzled look.
Oh, here.
Points at the pile of crates.
Just climb up onto the tallest one. We'll have a great view to the northern sides, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding.
Points out to the tent on the other side of the camp.
I can handle a couple of hours of sleeping on the ground if you wish. Go there after me and rest. Just, this once, okay? At least I have a pallet inside.
Thanks a lot. Oh, it's getting night now. Oh, this is good. This is good. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm. The sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshments. From time to time, your back aches. You force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters, birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, the three-horned deers trying to challenge one another before they clash their antlers. A two-legged dragling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The fur beast tries to intimidate the predators with roars of aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight nor to admit their defeat. I don't let myself distracted. I keep looking around. You hear the death scream of a distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew on the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Love this wildlife sound. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. Just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you had enough, you climb down and get to the tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words to confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with a cloak. Appearance. You don't stand out from the crowd and get much cleaner without a proper bath. Whoa! That bear sound rattled me. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. The wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources and threats, get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Havlavan, officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers or be a threat to the priest of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time. 30 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Havlavan. They report back to your employees and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. Oh, I need to get her some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I get enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the merchant guild. I want to remember as a soul who brought peace and order to this realm, a hero. Wow. Just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past and I want to be forgotten. My heart is more of the let's just help people because I'm a well-kind fool who will put himself in danger to help others. Help others. There we go. The harvest sleep senses are catching the sound of a wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious. Though the pleasant, humid late summer air evences out slowly. Can't travel during the night, press the sleep button to rest. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. Let's sleep. Sleeping in a tent, you can spend the night in a bird's tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the grounds won't be painfully hard nor cold. Okay. There we go. Nighty night. You're woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell like a roast. No. Burning meat. Burning, rotten meat. Disgust crawls you into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what happens. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Kormaker, she greets you with a nod. We used the horse manure for the flames. Don't worry about the cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs or male or female, but it was an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple of more hours. Traveler or undead? The latter. A young one. She lacked the pneumia to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be really a threat. Even now it took a couple of hits to knock her out. Sooner or later every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength, which each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's necessity. Soldiers, priests, village majors, and even roadwardens making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Oh, interesting. So everybody who dies comes back to life? Oh my goodness, this is nasty. Tula calls his undead a she. Most do not hesitated to do so. Most units hesitate to do so. Interesting. Time for me to leave. Running away from the rig, huh? I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asturion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell marked a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tula's voice. I wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. Prepare myself for the journey. Use the travel button to see the map and the other areas. We put ourselves together, we put our gambits on and our axe as tightly as possible and get ready for the road north. Travel. Oh! Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you've done with the north, speak with Tulia and return to Hovlevan. Travel north. This is good. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures you mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches of gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find the pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the feature of birds and furred beasts. Each one is a lot different in size, coats, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. The fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while the rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, make them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. Consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. If there's other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay close to the main roads as possible and why adventurers move in groups. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. You're thinking about your conversations with Tulia. You've got a lot to do and time may be of the essence. If you have any vitality points, you can use the warrior's trading. Interesting. The icon marks the action that involves in a random chance. I grab my crossbow. A light hit should be enough to make them scatter. Oh man, the poor animal, but guess we have to do that. Let's grab the crossbow. I can learn about my abilities in the character sheet. Character sheet. So, after use of training, become a fighter. You help local villages to make your region safer. Force. While your vitality is above 0, you find ways to overcome physical struggles. You have an advantage during physical interactions that involve random chance. Appearance 1 out of 5. Combat experience none. Spirit animals none. Religion's pagan. Undetermined. Lies none. Suing experience. Gambling experience. Interesting. Crossbows are an easy weapon to use and you've got plenty of time to aim. The creature falls on its side and screams, alerting its companions. Confused, they look around and after a while they run away, one of them limping with your quarrel in its thigh. I ride forward. Man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna look at that. Path beneath. There's a twist to left and right. The road splits according to what the soldiers have told you. You may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How'd it go? The harshest path leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasures, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say, danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. Look at my horse. What is his name? Ha! Roach, of course! Roach is peaceful as your stroke its mane. Maybe it can help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on. It takes a couple of steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Time to make a turn. Travel. Left or right. Explore east, explore west. Let's go west. Roach trots at ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten roads. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparse and brighter. You spot boar, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from any dangers. You notice a stone tower, taller than the trees. Must be the inn I've heard about. Inns like this one fits the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers guarded by expensive mercenaries surely lived for many seasons in primitive hamlets, subsisting in salted supplies. There's seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide in the buildings. Then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put on into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people on the ramparts, though, you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapets right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambits, and each one of them dyed differently: yellow, green, and linen gray. I approach the gate. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair. Ooh, no. Pointing in every possible direction. This combination of color doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I hadn't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass. Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Hovloven. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. For those who don't know, jackass is a donkey. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? I mean, she's kind of witty, so let's try to be playful. You won't believe it, the lessons were a pain. Get off your horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey, when your whole shell was crying. You illustrate the pain as you move your hand from your back to the hips, then thighs. In return, the guards tell you about the time when they had to carry their friend with bitten off legs for 3 days straight through the heart of the woods. Meanwhile, the other guards open the gates. You mean to be in a good mood? The woman in yellow jacket smiles at you. But don't get so noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the world's suffering sculpted in his face. She leads you under the roof under which your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord and a wooden post near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside, speak to your boss. Maybe you're hungry. The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mounts every now and then, and they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. I open the door. And this is so good. I love it. The locked windows make the air stuffy and weak. Fire stuff hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans to the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. A quick drink. If you're at the inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day on resting. Okay. Interesting. I mean, my vitality is still pretty decently. Lucky to show up! His voice is deep and soft. With a city-like accent, he observes you with a keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale, wormwood, bark myrtle, juniper berries, and cat's foot. He fills a mug carefully and puts it on the counterpart. It's going to spoil soon, today maybe. And we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes, and the hair is naturally bluish. These clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out of the city square. Stand at the counter. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Here you go. He pushes him out forward, but just so you know, my pelt doesn't belong to Hovloven. You can sleep on the floor if you wish. But if you want a bed or a meal, you have to pay. We may have some leftovers for dinner, but I need to check. This would be friendly. Thanks for the drink. I see you know how to make friends with a Roadwarden. He meets your eyes with a puzzled look, then grabs a wet cloth and starts to wipe down the shelves. From time to time, your conversations is interrupted by splashes of dirty water in the wooden bucket. Well, nothing is truly free. I have worked for Soul of the Roads, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. He speaks slowly, yet audibly. I value my time, you should value yours. Entering the L. The dark room and wooden walls of the mug make the liquid look as brown as a chestnut. The lean of the spring hits your nose, and the first sip is even too complex, too flowery. While the brewer has used fancy ingredients, the exotic licorice ruins the aftertaste. Now you know why there's so much left. Maybe it takes an acquired taste. Innkeeper nods. I was so happy to see someone willing to patrol the roads. Maybe you'll help me with a worrying that I have. Which is? There are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike, but they've got more active in the last 2 years. One day, they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt there's no reason why my merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howlersdale, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Thais, the mayor, about Galokia. That bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Galokias or Glosias ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them to get rid of her band. He looks at the nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? Make it 3. It observes you for a moment. 2? I'm gonna eat something. Do you have any leftovers? Do you have anything you'd like to bury? I'm looking for Asteria, the previous Roadwarden. Oh man, I love it! I love it! Well, ladies and gents, I would say we're gonna save here. There we go. Save. And hop into the main menu. There we go. This is Roadwarden for you. A very text-heavy adventure. I don't want to even imagine how many outcomes and ways and things you can do. So, if you want a good book, let's call it a book. If you got a good reads, a good adventure book where your decisions matter, and you want a little bit of illustrations towards it, and see stuff happening, and have some tabletop RPG likes mechanics running in the background with dice rolls and chances of stuff to happen or to succeed or not, Roadwarden is definitely your jam. It is definitely mine, and I know I will play this onwards and finish my run. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and let me know if you're a fellow fan of RPG genres in general, because I myself have also something great in the plans. If you enjoyed my presentations, don't hesitate to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, do the good things, the kind things that help the channel and cost you nothing other than a little bit of your time and support. With that, I wish you farewell, Roadwarden. Safe travels. May you rest well, and may no monster nom on your socks while you sleep. I hope you will enjoy the game as much as I did already. Link will be down in the descriptions below. And see you soon, Vikings. See you soon. Until next time. Bye-bye.